If you are a yoga teacher, it is almost guaranteed that you will have someone walk into your class who is pregnant. They're going to come in and say, by the way, I'm 20 weeks pregnant. My midwife or my doctor told me that yoga would be good for me. And it's their very first time in a yoga class. Or maybe they're experienced and they're coming to yoga class looking for additional advice now that they're in this phase of their life. And if you aren't trained in prenatal yoga, it can be a little bit jarring, a little bit scary. But again, it's inevitable. 80% of women at some point are pregnant. So it's not something that's uncommon. In fact, it's very common. And so I want to give you a tool or some tips and advice to help you on your way. First of all, welcome. My name is Ashley, and I'm going to start by saying I am not a prenatal yoga teacher. I have no desire to teach moms to be. I think it is amazing. I think prenatal and pregnancy yoga is such a wonderful gift that teachers can provide. It's just not what I'm interested in. However, I am a mom and I am a yoga teacher that has had thousands of hours of teaching experience to know that you're going to get pregnant women in your classes. And you've got to know the advice to give, the basics. So here we go. This product, and this is what this is all about. I love it. There is this brand new yoga card deck that I got recently that I am in love with. I love learning everything about this, even though I am not interested in teaching prenatal yoga specifically. So this card deck is brand new, and it actually comes from the same company who made these regular WorkoutLabs yoga cards. So it's WorkoutLabs is the company. If you go to workoutlabs.shop, you can find these cards right away. Use the code ASHESYOGA for 10% off. So I'm going to shout that out. First, a quick note on these cards. I've had them for a while now. This is the 3rd edition, and they're actually in color. And so they've updated them. They're really neat looking. I love them. I've talked about them a bunch, and they're made of a really durable plastic. They've got advice and tips on the back on the poses. There are sequences involved, and these regular cards are amazing. I recommend them for anyone who is going through 200-hour teacher training, who is a new yoga teacher, or to yoga teacher trainers who want a way to play games and supplement their activities for practice teaching for leading their trainings. So I have taught a couple 200-hour trainings, and I wish I would have had these at the time because it would have made our games that we played more fun. So you can definitely look into these. These are the basics. But let's talk these prenatal yoga cards. I'm obsessed with them. I've had so much fun, and you can see I've laid out a sequence here that's actually in these. So these prenatal yoga cards come with a bunch of cards that have, very similar to the originals, the pose and information on the back. And there's more to them talking about pregnancy and the different trimesters. So they're actually broken up into 3 personas, which I think is so neat. And a lot of the poses, instead of just giving one variation, give multiple variations for each trimester. For example, child's pose, trimester 1. Child's pose, trimester 2 with bolsters. Child's pose, well, kind of, a variation of forward fold, 3rd trimester with a chair. So not only are you learning how to adjust for pregnancy, but also how to use props. And there's not as much as that in the original. Other examples, Warrior 1, trimester 1, Warrior 2 with the option with a foot by a block and you're next to a wall, Warrior 2 with a chair. So it's not just pregnancy that you're learning about, you're learning to adjust based on modifications for other things too. So if you are teaching chair yoga, there's a lot of chair props in here that you'll be able to find. Different props to use. Side bends in a chair. Side bends sitting down. Side bends on a bolster or on a rolled up yoga mat. And with these two, they also give just more variations, easier, harder, and more information. And so even if you decide, you're not interested in pregnancy, any of that, there's just more variations here that can relate to a lot of the types of people that walk into your classes. Now, what else is included that I've really enjoyed reading through is this booklet, which is like a mini booklet pamphlet with information on each trimester, information on miscarriages, and information on the Ayurvedic wisdom. What is Ayurveda? And it actually gives some really good tips and advice, and it can apply to almost anyone. So if you're not pregnant, you will inevitably come across someone who is. And if you have a friend or a yoga student, yoga practitioner who recently announced their pregnancy and you want to gift them something that's not just another app or another book, which, don't get me wrong, apps and books are great, but to have something else that's interactive and kind of fun like this, it's different, it's fun, it's exciting. So I've enjoyed laying out these sequences and reading about the different poses and why you would do certain things, what you should avoid. We've got cards on breathing techniques and even a guided meditation, an 18-minute guided meditation. Scan the QR code, check out the guided meditation, 18 minutes, and a bunch of affirmations that are going to help with pregnancy. Okay, so that's the main thing is I'm excited about all of this. The booklet, the cards, the variations, the props that are included. And there's more to it that I'm not going to get into all the details. Like it lists contraindications on each pose and it lists a lot of things like how to do it and some cues. So that's helpful for teachers. With sequencing, you might be wondering, well, it's just a bunch of cards. How is that going to help with laying out a sequence? Well, they have some pre-formatted sequences for you. Look at these. So they're all numbered, so easy to keep track of. We've got a dynamic and slow flow for each trimester, a very gentle flow for trimester 1 and 2, preferably if has been miscarriages in the past. We've got yoga for sciatica, and that's not just for pregnancy, right? Other people have sciatica too. Difficulty breathing or heartburn, again, not just pregnancy. People have difficulty breathing and heartburn, shoulder and neck stretches, and pelvic pain. So you've got sequences you can lay out and then information about the sequence. We've got affirmations for trimesters 1, 2, and 3 because they are very different and the needs of the yoga practitioner, depending on the trimester, is going to be different. And if you haven't had children before, you may not realize that. Someone in trimester 1 is not going to be given the same advice as someone who is 9 months pregnant. They're very different. So to know the differences is very important. And this makes you more credible, reliable of a teacher that someone will go to ask for advice. Again, this is just to give you the basics and help you feel more confident. Of course, if you want to teach prenatal yoga specifically, I highly recommend that is a supplemental training you take. Specifically that one in particular, if it's prenatal you want to do. Most of the time I say, if you've got a 200-hour training, go read some books or go watch some videos to teach some other styles. But when it comes to prenatal, there's a lot more involved that I wouldn't want you to skip by. And I'd really want you to dive into a lot deeper. So take a training. Now, I don't have any recommendations. Again, I'm not a prenatal yoga teacher, but I am a mom. I've been pregnant several times and I'm currently pregnant. I know you can't tell, but I've been laying out sequences for first trimester and second trimester and playing around with them. And it's been, just gotta say, a lot of fun. So I hope that you check these out. And I know I've gotten some comments like, oh goodness, they seem kind of expensive. Honestly, I probably would have paid double because being pregnant myself and knowing how much I just need more resources and feel the need to want to be as healthy as possible, this is helping me. Yes, I've downloaded apps. Yes, I have ordered books on Amazon. Yes, I'm listening to podcasts, but I'm always thinking to myself, what else can I do to help me and my children and my future children to be the best and most healthy version of ourselves? So if you have a friend who is pregnant, if you are a yoga teacher who will inevitably come across anyone who is pregnant, if you want to dabble into the world of prenatal yoga and the poses and variations, I recommend the prenatal yoga cards and Ayurvedic wisdom. So they're designed easy and fun, a bunch of cards inside, sequences, information, and all sorts of things that you can check out. Right now I've laid out the gentle yoga sequence for trimester 1. I was actually going to flow through it because with it laid out like this and me being very visual, I get on my yoga mat here, I can glance over, see what the next pose is, and go through it. And it looks a little something like this, right? So I laid out all the poses just like that. We repeat a couple sections left and right side, and it tells me what it's all about. And some cautions. If you feel nauseous, skip downward facing dog. Do tabletop instead. If you have a history of miscarriages, refer to that section in the book. So go to the book, read through it, and look at it. So check it out. Go to WorkoutLabs.shop. Use the code AshesYoga if you decide to purchase the regular cards that have all the basic poses. Definitely get the 1 and 2, the intermediate and the beginner. So get the whole package. And if you're someone who wants a little bit more depth, a little bit more with props, poses, conditions, and pregnancy, get the prenatal yoga cards and Ayurvedic wisdom. So that's my quick review. I'm very excited about them. I hope you are too. And I can't wait to see how you use these. And if you do, if you get them, let me know. Let me know how you like them and if you've used them. It's going to be so much fun to talk about all this. I don't know that there's like a Facebook group or anything that we can go to chat about, but you're welcome to join my Facebook group, Yoga Sequencing and Teaching Tips. You can tag me and let me know that you got them. That would be super exciting. I also do share poses of the week or a pose of the week every so often. Actually once a week. So once a week you'll see a pose of the week, and I usually will share either one of the prenatal cards or the regular cards, and we have discussions around sequencing with those specific poses. So check it out, the hashtag pose of the week in my Yoga Sequencing and Teaching Tips Facebook group. Hope to see you in there, and if not, I'll see you in another video very soon. See you later.